Hey everyone, so the Nintendo Switch Online service is now live, and so is the latest update to come to the Nintendo Switch. And with this update is an awesome new feature which I wish they'd had from the beginning, game sharing with eShop games. So the way I was able to share my digital purchases with my daughter's Switch in the past was having to sign out from the eShop on my Switch and then sign into the eShop on her Switch, and make that Switch the primary account. So the kids would be able to play any of the digital games that I had purchased on mine on theirs. Bit of a hassle having to do that each time, and not only that, it locked out any digital purchases I had purchased on my Switch, so I couldn't play any eShop games on my Switch until I signed out of their Switch and then signed back in under mine. With this latest update though, there's game sharing now. So the way it works is as long as your profile is on the other Switch and that Switch has online access, you don't need to sign out or sign in or whatever. As long as they're playing on the primary profile that the games were purchased on, they can play those games. With that being said, if you're not connected to the internet, you cannot play those games. This is just on like the secondary Switch. The primary Switch, it just works normal. Like if you purchased your game, you can play it anywhere you want. It just with the secondary Switch, it has to have online access in order to play the shared game. Also, with the shared games, if for whatever reason I decide I want to play a certain game, it will pause that other player's game. So if they're playing on their Switch Splatoon 2 or whatever, and it's one of my games, and I decide, well, I want to play Splatoon 2. As soon as I turn on that software on the primary Switch account, it'll pause their game saying that it cannot be played because somebody else is playing it, which is the primary account. Same thing with when I'm already playing a game. It'll only pause the secondary account. So there's no fear of like the primary Switch being played and then the secondary Switch wants to play that software. It won't pause the primary Switch. It just won't even turn on the software on the second Switch. So it's really cool. I really love that game sharing is now here for the Switch. So let's actually try it out. So this is my kid's Switch, and this is my Switch. So we're gonna go ahead and I'll put on Yonder. So here we go. Let's see. It's just loading. So for now, let's okay, there it goes. Okay. All right. Wow, that took a lot longer than I was expecting. All right. So there's Yonder, and this is on the primary Switch. So this is my Switch. I purchased the game originally on this one, and then I re-downloaded the game on this one. So before, I would have to sign out of this one from the eShop and then sign into this one in order for any of the games I had purchased on this one to be played on this one. Now, I don't have to sign out or anything. As long as my profile and the game is downloaded onto this one, I can just go ahead and play it. So, there's Yonder on that. This is the secondary Switch. So, I'm going to try and turn on Yonder. If you try to play the game with a profile that isn't the one that was purchased, it will not even let you. It'll just say cannot be played under this profile. So right now I try to play Yonder on the secondary switch, but because the game is being played on the primary switch, it says play is being suspended. Download software or downloaded content may be being played on another console using the same Nintendo account. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and close the software on this. So I closed the software on the primary Switch account. And now we're going to try and play on the secondary Switch account. And there it is. Easy as that. Game sharing on the Nintendo Switch. It's awesome. And then, like I said, that'll work with any of the games that I've purchased on my Switch. I can just go into the eShop under my profile and then download them onto this Switch or any other Switch. And then, as long as it's being played under my profile, it's fine. It'll work. And like I said, it'll pause the game on theirs. So, we're going to try Morphy's Law. So it's checking. And again, before you play it, it'll say checking to see if the software can be played, and it's checking the internet. So it has to have you have to be connected to Wi-Fi with the console in order to play. So as soon as I take this outside or go to the park or whatever, and I try to play one of the games on the secondary Switch, it won't let you. Okay. This is Morphe's Law on the secondary Switch. I'm going to try and put it on the primary Switch. Watch what happens. So it should kick it out of this one. But you know what? It's not. I'm wondering if certain games will allow you to play... Oh, no, there it goes. There it goes. I thought I got lucky there and I'd be able to play against each other with both Switches, but you can't. So primary account, Morphe's, or primary Switch, Morphe's is going good. Secondary has been paused. Play is being suspended. Downloaded software or downloadable content may be being played on the console using the same Nintendo account. So that's it. But this way, I can play whatever game I want on my from the eShop on my Switch, and then any of the other games that I have downloaded are a free game on the secondary Switch. It's just that you can't play the same game at the same time. But it's a lot better than it was before, because last time, if the kids wanted to play one of my eShop games on their Switch, I'd have to log off completely, log into here, then I couldn't play any of my eShop games at all on this Switch. Now I can. Now we can. So, alright guys, that's it. Till next time. Bye.